What is phonics? Phonics is reading instruction on understanding how letters and groups of letters link to sounds to form letter-sound relationships and spelling patterns. When children know the letter B says B and TION says shun, they're using phonics. The ability to apply these predictable relationships to familiar and unfamiliar words is crucial to reading success. Phonics is not a particular reading program. It is an important part of explicit and systematic instruction for beginning readers. What does phonics look like? Systematic phonics instruction begins with teaching basic letter-sound correspondence, the relationship of the letters in the alphabet to the sounds they represent, and progresses to more complex letter-sound relationships so that students can decode regular and irregular words. Phonics instruction should be targeted. It should be evidence-based, engaging, systematic, and explicit. So, how do we teach phonics? While there isn't a specific agreed-upon instructional sequence for introducing letter-sound relationships, it's good to begin with sounds that will enable students to begin reading words as quickly as possible. Start with letter sounds of high utility, such as ah, and s, so students can begin working with words as soon as possible. Work with just a few sounds at a time by teaching each letter of the alphabet and its most common corresponding sound. Instruction should include naming the letter or letters that represent the sound. Separate and stagger letter-sound relationships that are auditorily confusing, like B and V, or visually similar, like B and D, to promote mastery of one before introducing the other that may create confusion. When introducing each letter-sound relationship in isolation versus when reading connected text, associate a word beginning with that letter sound and follow up by introducing an object or picture of that word. Visually representing a word containing the letter sound being taught can help a student remember the relationship between the letter and the sound. Use that word to create a short sentence or story. Read the sentence aloud and then introduce the object or picture. By reinforcing the letter sound with both the letter in print and the object, this helps the student recall the sound when they encounter the letter later. It's important to note that pictures as part of phonics instruction are used to associate the sound to the letter and help with memory of that letter and its sound. The pictures are not used to predict or decode words. Letters should be introduced in uppercase and lowercase when teaching the relationships between letters and sounds. Provide multiple opportunities for students to practice with letter-sound relationships. Once students have a good grasp of the letter-sound relationship you're targeting and are moving on to connected text, focus solely on the letters and the sounds in the words. Pictures are not part of the continued building of phonics skills. Finally, why is phonics important? Phonics helps crack the code of written language. Knowing the sounds of letters will help children read, decoding, and helps children know which letters to use when writing, encoding. It's important to note that phonics is what connects instruction in phonemic awareness, the ability to identify and play with the individual sounds in spoken words, to actual print. Phonics has a profound impact on fluency, the ability to read words, phrases, sentences, and stories correctly with enough speed and expression, and reading comprehension, the ability to understand what you are reading. Correctly and quickly decoding or sounding out words allows children to focus their attention and energy on understanding what they read, which is what we want all children to be able to do. Thanks for watching the Big 5 and Under 5 Phonics. If you're interested in learning more, check out the National Center on Improving Literacy's Alphabetic Principle and Phonics Toolkit, and watch for the rest of our Big 5 and Under 5 series.